Oh no, the rearview mirror's on fire. Oh, maybe it's the pizza oven. Alright, so welcome back. I thought I'd do a quick update video. When you guys see these videos I'm putting out, that work that I've done is usually 3 weeks or so old. And I decided, and I need to start releasing stuff a little more often maybe, and keeping you guys more in the loop as far as what I'm actually doing currently. Alright, so let's start in the garage. Let me turn this camera around and we'll have a look. Alright, so firstly, there's still no electricity in here, but it's all wired, it's all hooked up. I just got to get the electrician out here to hook it up at the house end. We've got the new larger cabling put in, trenched in and reburied over here. Got it coming in the garage over here through some PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Right there, that's going in, popping in through the wall here, and with some, I think it's 6 gauge I put in here, and then our new fuse panel. So that's going to be nice. We got our 30 amp double pole right here, and that is powering our 220 outlet right there. So we're going to have 220 in this wall pretty soon, and I'll be able to run the air compressor and my welder, which is going to be awesome. I also put in an outlet on the outside of the garage. So, I put it with a, where is it? How do you open this thing? Oh yeah. And I put a GFCI in there so you can stand a little weather. I ran a water pipe out here. It's not hooked up at either end yet, so the idea being I can put a water spigot out there so I can wash cars out in front, which means I'll need some cement or something out here, or a big pile of gravel. Anyway, back to the garage. So the wiring's done, electrical's done basically. So I made a mess out of the garage doing that. There's electrical stuff all over the place still. I got the extra cabling, some more boxes. I'm going to put 4 more boxes in the roof in case I want to put up electrical cord reels. And then I got rid of some rims and tires back here, so that frees up some space. I'm going to get that stuff off of there, get rid of that bench thing that's down there and in the way. And the reason for that is, if I measure between this workbench and the back wall, I've got enough room to turn this demon sideways and have a couple of feet on either side of it so I can still work on it. And then it'll free up this middle space for putting another vehicle in here to work on. I really need to be able to work on 2 cars at the same time, or at least park the S10 indoors. It's getting destroyed being parked outside. But here's the project I picked up. This is a drag car. It's well, it's a drag car. It's completely gutted. It's basically just a shell. The fender is in the trunk. I just took it off while I was evaluating the thing. The floors are good. They look rusty, but they're not. They're really solid. The trunk floor is another story. It's missing the mechanisms for the windows and all that. 10-point roll cage, but it's just some really thin, like Coke can thickness of sheet metal they use to enclose this thing. It's missing the metal trim that comes from the factory around the rear window and things like that. I've looked in the trunk. The package tray is actually still in the vehicle, but the cross brace is missing. Like a V-shaped brace that comes down to the transmission tunnel. They cut that out. This was originally an automatic car, it looks like. However, they did cover up a hole in there, so I need to take all this sheet metal out, see what we really have underneath it, and figure out what to do with this thing. My thought was, hey, I can build a budget drag car, and I said I might do that. That might be a fun thing to do for the channel, right? Build a budget drag car and go to the track. And in the spirit of that, a buddy of mine had a 400 big block laying around that he pulled out a street rod he had, because he had a 383 that was running good. This started to overheat on him, so he pulled it out. He thinks it has a cracked cylinder head. I think it has a bad head gasket or a cracked cylinder head. We'll find out when we tear it down. I have a hard time believing this engine block's going to be bad, and I'll tell you why. It's a 1977, I believe. Probably came out of a motorhome or like a Cordoba or something like that. These engine blocks are the toughest big block engine blocks Chrysler made, basically. They have a whole bunch of extra meat in the number 2 main journal, where they're a lot of big blocks were known for cracking under extreme conditions. The motor mount tabs are much thicker because those would break off on the earlier blocks. And nickel content wise and the weight of the block wise, these things are bulletproof. So I have a hard time believing there's anything wrong with this engine block, is what I'm trying to say. Now that being a 400, that makes that a B engine, which is the same as like the 383. Most people know about the 383 Mopar. The 400 is basically the same as far as outside dimensions go. There's two big blocks in Mopars. There's the B engine series, which is the low deck, which is your 361, 383, 400, and a couple others, I think a 351, I think. But anyway, or a 350, something like that. But it doesn't matter. The point being, most of the time you run into a B engine, you're going to be running into a 383 or a 400. And then there's the RB series, which has a taller deck height, and that would be your 440s and 426s and things like that. So the 440 and the 383 being the most common muscle car engines you can deal with. But the 400 is good, because like I said, it's got some thicker materials, a little beefier engine block, and just because of the geometry of it, it makes a really good stroker engine. So I picked that up. We'll see what kind of shape it's in when we get a chance. And that was nice and cheap. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this car as far as when we're going to get to it, or what we're going to do to it exactly. If I'm going to make a cheap drag car out of it, it'll happen over time because I got to accumulate parts. But most importantly, I got to get this garage cleaned up and get stuff out of here so I can have a car like this set permanently up on stands, so I can be welding on it and cutting on it and doing the things I need to do, and still have a space right here to pull a car in and work on it. So that's basically what we got going on with the garage. In the meantime, we picked up another project, so let me walk around behind the barn here and show you what we got. This is a 71 Duster, so it's basically the same body as that 72 Demon in the garage. But I picked this up as a parts car because all the stainless trim on it is good. It's in good shape, it's got all the windows in it. The Demon has none of that stuff, so if I want to make the Demon a little more like a real car, a little less like a drag car, and I'm not worried about the weight, then I want to do things like put the hood hinges back on it, put the trunk hinges back on it, put the stainless trim and the glass windows in it, things like that. It's got door locks, they all work. But she's a rusty mess. It's in pretty bad shape from a rust standpoint. But it also has something important for the drag car, which is a mechanical steering box. I really wanted that for the drag car. But I started looking at this thing, and the more I look at it, the more I kind of like it and think it might make a really cool rat rod, like a muscle car rat rod. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but we picked that up. And we also did some work on the trailer. Put a hitch mount on there, so I'll also do a video on that probably separately. But that's where we're at there. So yeah, so basically I don't know what I'm going to do. I got two cars that I can't afford to build. And I don't know what I want to do with either one. Do I just use it as a parts car? Do I sell the roof to a guy that wants it? Oh, I didn't show you the canvas roof, did I? Alright, hang on. I think the coolest thing about this car that makes it special and unique, and possibly worth saving, is that it came from the factory with a canvas roof. I mean, it was an installed option. Another company installed it. Chrysler didn't. But the point being, you could order it on the new car. You didn't have to have, the dealership didn't do it. The factory had it done. But this is a retractable roof. There's a crank right here that winds it and rolls the whole thing back. It was covered with canvas. It's pretty well gone here, but you can see what it looked like there. And yeah, that's pretty cool. And there's a guy in Iowa that wants to buy this off me. He's coming to Tennessee next month, and he really wants it. So I don't know if I'm going to sell it to him. But this car has a lot of stuff the Demon's missing. It's also got those trim panels I showed you in the Demon that go around that rear window. They're right there, and that V-brace right there. This guy here, that's still in the car. And so I could take that stuff out and put it in the Demon. It's got the kick panels down there. It's got a dashboard. The dash pad's wasted, but it's got the dashboard and glove box. The Demon does not have any of that stuff. So at some point when I have some time and I can get to it, I'm going to come in here. Yeah, it's just a mess in there. But I'm going to come out here, I'm going to clean this thing out and see what kind of shape the floor is in and see what all's in it. I'm also hoping I find the fender tag in the glove box or something, because it's missing. And it doesn't look like it rusted off. Because you'd have a different amount of rust around the tag than you did under the tag if it all rusted together. So looks like somebody took that off at some point. So I'm hoping it's in the glove box, like they were doing a paint job or something, and threw it in the glove box. So there you go. We got options, lots of them. The sun just came out, that's nice. We also still have the S10, and just to clarify, the D100, the 87 D100 has been sold. It has a new home. And the new owner drove it 2 hours from here to home, so I guess we had it running pretty decent. He's very happy with it. I saw him after he got home because, like a moron that I am, I left my keys in the truck when I sold it to him. So I had to drive the 2 hours out to Newport to pick him up. So they were happy with it when I got there. Didn't know if I was going to get lynched when I got there or not, but they're still happy with the truck. They said it made it just fine. Drove comfortably the whole way with the air conditioner running. So yeah, good. It went to a good home, and that truck's not rotting away in someone's yard anymore. So now I'm actually looking for another project like that. I love taking cars that aren't running and rotting into the weeds and turning them into something. But hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you don't mind. That helps me out a lot. And comments are always welcomed as well. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you guys next time.